I wanted to do a part 2 of my testimony. So, it all started, my bio mom and my bio dad were together. They had 2 babies. My brother, older sister, older brother. And then she was pregnant with me. She left him, got with another guy, married him. And then that's really whenever, like, the abuse and stuff really started. From the, I guess, very beginning, he was essaying my oldest sister. And so she would tell whoever she could tell. And we would get taken away. Then they would do what they were supposed to be doing. And then we would get put back with them. And then we'd move. And then the same cycle would happen again. And that happened until we got to Washington State. And then they gave up custody of my oldest brother. I was 4. And then after that, they moved around everywhere. Same cycle. She would get essayed. She'd tell. We'd get removed. They do what they were supposed to. And then we'd get put back. And then we would move. So that pretty much happened the entire time. And then physical abuse was crazy, you know, like they wouldn't feed us, they'd physically abuse us, mentally abuse us. His stepdad's mom hated his stepchildren, and she was extremely abusive. I mean, I got to where I had PTSD. I would disassociate, so whenever the abuse would happen, you literally just blank out. You check out. You don't remember anything that's happening. And then you just wake up and you're like, oh, where am I at? What is this? What happened? And so that happened repeatedly on repeat. Every single day you're dealing with something. And I mean, like, sometimes she would, like, I feel like, try to kill us because she hated us that bad, you know. Like, she'd tell us that nobody ever wanted us. That's why we were bastards, you know. Go kill yourself, do yourself a favor, you know, things like that. And it was just, like, every day you were dealing with that. And eventually you just get, like, so numb to it, I guess. But then, you know, like, times would seem like it was fine. And, like, one time, I mean, I was starving, like, and she was fixing, you know, breakfast and stuff for my younger siblings, which, you know, those were her biologicals, and she just adored them. And I was starving, and she was responsible for watching us, and I had, you know, just asked, like, can I please have something to eat? And at the time, her son was there, so my stepdad, and he was like, just give her something to eat. And that was, like, I mean, good, because I got a piece of toast out of the deal. But, like, I'm not even kidding, like, the look that she gave me, I was like, she's gonna kill me. So I had to go and hide for a whole day from her. And mind you, at the time, I was only, I want to say 6 or 7. So, I mean, I was a little kid, like, just wanting something to eat. And so, like, it just continued every single day, same stuff. And then there were, like, times where I remember, you know, like, doing a simple chore, like folding socks or something. And my stepdad would be, like, so butt-faced drunk that he'd just come up to me, and one day he was kicking me so hard. Like, I lost control of my bowels. And that didn't even stop him. He just, you know, kept hitting me and kicking me and kicking me and kicking me. And then I just passed out, because I remember waking up the next morning in the same spot, and I was like, did that really just happen? Because you're, like, in shock, and then you're, like, questioning everything, like, what did I do, you know? And again, at the time, I was probably, like, 8 maybe at max. So it was, like, stuff like that. And then he had friends come over, you know, and they would do, like, drugs and stuff. And then they had one guy, he had, like, a pit bull, and they thought it'd be funny to stick the dog on us, which they had him on a leash, so, like, it wasn't actually, like, going to get us. But I ran to the closet, locked myself in the closet, and I stayed there until the next day, because they just kept the dog out there, which actually was probably the most peaceful sleep I've ever had, knowing that the dog was there, and obviously nobody wanted to mess with the dog, So I actually got sleep and didn't get messed with, you know, for the entire night. But, yeah, so all of that just to say, like, it happened even in foster homes. Like, I would go to a foster home, and some of them were really nice, and then some of them, like I said in the first one, like, they're just mean and evil to the core, and it's like, you're going from one type of abuse to a different type of abuse, and then you're supposed to just be like, I don't know, acting like they're giving you something or like you're happy about it. But at that time when you're a little kid, you don't really understand, because when the same type of abuse is happening inside your home that you're getting taken out of and happening in the place that's supposed to be keeping you safe, you can't process that. Like, you just can't, not as a little kid. You just can't process those kind of things. So, it's just, I don't know. This world is a mess, and I just feel so bad for the kids that are, you know, they were raised in this. They maybe never got any kind of help, you know, and they're struggling with, like, decisions, and, like, nobody loves them, nobody wants them, nobody cares for them. And, I mean, I felt like that, and, you know, like, there were, like, several times when I wanted to just end it, but I couldn't. Like, for whatever reason, I just couldn't. And I also had my younger siblings, so, like, I wanted to be there for them and, you know, make sure they were safe, because that was my job, you know. And my older sister was the same way to, like, me. I remember one time, like, we were getting abused, like, so bad, and she had said, you know, I'm gonna take you and we're gonna run away. And I was like, let's go. So we got on a bike and we rode, like, all day long. I don't even remember where we were going, but we just rode the bike all day long. And then for whatever reason, well, I know why, it's because we had 2 younger siblings. She turned around and was like, we can't leave them. And so we came back, and they actually had called the cops, which I think is kind of comical, because, you know, they haven't helped you in the past. Why would you want to bring them now? But anyways, so, and they were looking for us and everything, and I'm sure after that they probably were like, why did you decide to run away? But I think my old sister told them we were just, like, on a bike ride, and didn't tell them, you know, because sometimes you tell the truth and sometimes you don't when you're in those kind of situations. So, but I just know, like, there is a better life, but you have to fight for it. Like, it's not going to be just handed to you. Sometimes it is, but, you know, most cases in my situation, it's not just handed to you. And you're going to have to, like, choose. I'm not going to go down this path, or I am going to go down this path. And unfortunately, a lot of kids choose the way they were raised. And then it's just a never-ending cycle that just continues of pain and anger and sadness, and you're just, like, stuck. And you want out, but you don't know how to get out. And there's only one way, and that's Jesus Christ. He's the only way that I know that I did not end up in prison, or even, you know, unalived, which I guess we're supposed to be saying. But he's the only way. I don't know what that was. That was a loud bang. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to hop on here and give a little bit more. I might do some more. I don't know. It just depends on what God's calling me to do, because I don't want it to be about me. Even though it's my story, I want it to be about Jesus and what he can do for those that are lost and hurting and confused and in so much pain. And you might be in pain and you didn't have to endure any of the kind of abuse that I did. I mean, that's just the way that the world is. We're cursed. We're living in a world where, you know, it's not going to go our way, because the adversary, the devil, doesn't want it to. In any way that he can lead you astray, he's going to. Whether that's giving you everything that you want or taking everything away. And sometimes, you know, that also happens with God, but it's for a better purpose. But anyways, I thank everybody for listening, and like I said, I'll pray about it and see if I need to do another one, because, I mean, I have lots of stories, but at the end of the day, stories aren't anything if it doesn't actually help or reach anybody. So anyways, thanks for listening, and I love you, and I hope you have a great day, and Jesus loves you too. Don't ever forget that.